it's a tale as old as time. It's a very common story. Everyone's dealt with this before. It's a Saturday morning. You've had 16,000 pounds of stone delivered because you decided to put just a little bit of rock in your backyard. And not only have you had 16,000 pounds of stone delivered, but you now have a very, very important deadline.
So if we finish the floor of everywhere, if we finish all of that by Halloween, if we finish all of that before Halloween, you may get a Corvette as a belated birthday present and job well done.
So Saturday morning, your rocks are here, your glue is here, your tools have been out for months now because you've been working on this project forever. You're ready to go, the final phase, you're gonna meet your deadline. And then, well, you're trying to go to Lowe's because you need one more thing and your garage door's broken. What? The universe is conspiring against me to make sure I never finish this project. Okay, ready? Oh, this hurts my old man body. I would say one of the springs on my garage door is definitely broken. And there's two trains of thought on fixing overhead garage doors when they're broken. One is, don't do it, you're dumb, you're gonna kill yourself. The other one is, how hard can it be? Do it yourself, you're gonna save a ton of money. So today on Zero to Awesome, well, we're doing option number 2. I'm going to see how hard it is to actually fix my garage door myself. Garage doors can be very dangerous. There's a ton of energy in those springs, and if they let loose and get you in the head, that can be the end of you. So to do this safely, we are gonna do a couple things. The first thing is we're gonna get the right tools. Number 1, 12-pointed sockets. So your garage door has all these square set screws, and you can't put a 6-sided socket on those set screws. So you can use an open-ended box wrench, that's 7/16 standard size of those, or if you have 12-pointed sockets, they're super helpful. They fit on those nuts, and they're safe because well, 12 points can fit a square. Also, winding bars. You have to wind and unwind your springs up there. They hold a lot of energy. These are actual winding bars bought from an overhead door company. They're just high-strength steel with the right size to fit in your springs. Some people try and do this with screwdrivers or pieces of rebar. Don't. Be safe, use the right tools. We're gonna go ahead and just start with the sketchiest thing first. Getting all the tension out of the spring because these springs have to come off before we can replace them. This one, it's already broken. Not a lot of tension in that spring. This one, a lot of power in that spring, knocks you in the head, can have an issue. We did a couple of things already. 1, we put a vice grip on our track to actually hold our door down. And 2, we unplugged a garage door opener so someone doesn't come along, press a button, and try and open the garage door while we're working on it. Also notice I'm not standing in front of the spring, and I'm not standing in front of this winding bar. If they get loose, I don't want them to hit me. So I'm going to use my 12-point 7/16 socket to release these set screws. That one's loose, and as soon as this one comes loose, well, I'm gonna feel some pressure in this bar. All right, it's loose, and we're just going to slowly, one at a time, use our winding bars to loosen this spring. Also, if you replace an existing spring like I am, count the number of winds because you're gonna have to reload it with the same number of winds afterwards. That looks safe now. I use jack shaft garage door openers, not a overhead door opener, which would be over your head. So I have to disconnect my jack shaft opener from the shaft, and then we can get these springs off. So you have these little wheels or these little drums on the end of your jack shaft, and they use the same 7/16 12-point to take off because there are square set screws. So we're gonna loosen these up. Keep in mind there's a cable coming off of it. You don't wanna lose tension on this cable. If you do, it'll come off the bottom of your door, and they're not that fun to put back on. They can be tricky. So loosen this up, maybe put some vice grips on if you need to. Don't lose this cable. Here's the part that I think really sucks. It's not getting the tension out of the spring. It's not finding a company that's actually going to sell a homeowner their garage door parts. It's getting this bar out. So these springs wrap around the bar. I have to slide them off the end somehow. And this garage door is 40, 45-ish years old. So I think this bar is original. It's been fixed many times. It's had new springs, it's had service. And so because of that, these set screws have put tons of indentations in this old metal pipe, and it's rusty, and it's not gonna be very easy to slide the drums off, slide these off. This is the worst part, but we have some tricks. And by tricks, I mean we have lube, we have a file, we have a hammer, and we have a wire brush. So we're going to clean up this bar as best we can. We're gonna file down all the little burrs and high spots, and we're just gonna fight with this thing until we get these springs off. Yeah, this is insanely chewed up. It doesn't want to slide past it, so we're gonna keep filing. This one's free, so we're just gonna keep working our way down, clean it up, filing it until everything on this bar moves so we can slide our springs off. That's fine. The way this is typically done, you would take one spring off one side of the garage door, the other spring off the other side of the garage door. But since I have that jack shaft opener, I didn't want to mess with getting that opener off the wall so I could get the shaft all the way out. So I just took out the center bearing. Wasn't that hard to get out, and slid both springs off the same size. And now, well, now this tricky part, we have to try and get our hands on these. We're on our way to the overhead door supply house, which honestly, I think this is the trickiest part. So probably 10 years ago, not this garage door, a different garage door that I had, the springs broke. So I went to the local supply house and tried to buy a spring, and they gave me a really hard time. They didn't want to sell me the parts. And then probably 3 or 4 years ago, I converted the second garage door at this house to be a high lift door so I could fit a car lift. And I went to the supply house I'm about to go to, and same thing, they didn't want to sell me the parts. In fact, I might have lied to them and had to tell them that someone else was doing the work, and they just sent me to pick up the parts so they could come do the work, and they eventually sold me the parts. So there's certain things like air conditioning, you have to have a license to buy the refrigerant. Some plumbing supply houses, you have to be a licensed plumber to shop there. It's not the law, it's just what they choose. But as far as I know, there's no license, there's no certification for fixing garage doors. I don't know why they don't want to sell this stuff to me. Like, I get it, like it can be dangerous, maybe there's a liability aspect, maybe they're just trying to protect independent garage door repair people, but I hope I can get the springs so I can fix my garage door today. If not, I'm gonna have to measure them, order them online, and I think my garage door is out of commission for, well, however long those take to ship. I made it back, and I have 2 brand new garage door springs. They were a little skeptical when I first walked in, but then they asked for my phone number to put me in their system, and I mentioned I already was in their system because I bought garage door springs, specifically that one, from them before. And once they looked me up and realized they had sold me parts before, they were cool. They were really nice. I don't know why they were skeptical at first. I don't know why. I guess I've only dealt with 2 different garage door supply houses, and they just don't want to sell you parts. I don't get it, but whatever, we're going to get these installed. You might notice that these are a different size. They're longer than the ones that came off, and I just brought the spring to them. They measured it and gave me these springs. He said they're going to have to change the size. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but these are what they gave me. So we're gonna install them. One is right hand, one is left hand. That's standard for a garage door with 2 springs. We're going to put the right hand one on the left side, the left hand one on the right side. We're going to slide them both on from that side of the garage door because, again, I don't want to mess with my garage door opener here, which is a precariously bungee cord to the wall so it doesn't fall off. But yeah, let's get the whole thing reassembled, retension our springs, and hopefully the garage door works. Everything is reassembled. Our cables are back on the drums are back on the shaft, all of our bearings, I actually greased them when I put everything back together. So we're ready to tighten our springs. We're going to tighten them with our torsion bars. And again, we're gonna be really careful, but also we don't want this bar to spin when we tighten up the springs and then clamp them back down. So for an extra bit of safety, we're gonna put some vice grips on that bar. So if anything gets loose, if the motor doesn't catch, if something goes crazy, if a spring, cable, whatever comes off, hopefully things don't go crazy. These are our safety vice grips. If this thing gets loose, it's gonna wanna spin that way. So our safety vice grips, they just go right there up against the wall, so can't go anywhere. Maybe redundant, but we also still have these bad boys above the wheel so that if I put too much pressure on the spring, it's not gonna start coming up at me. 2, 3. Fixed it. I did have to do a little bit of reprogramming of my garage door opener. Jack shaft openers have a up limit and a down limit, and I had to reset those limits. But once I did, well, we have a working, functioning garage door. It's back together, and since I greased everything, it's quieter than it's ever been. And look at that, it closes too. These openers, this Genie opener I have, it does this weird little shaky thing at the beginning. It's a safety thing. It's supposed to sense if there's tension in the lines, if it's safe to close it. It's weird. First time I put it in, I thought it was broken, but they both do that. It's supposed to happen. So should you replace your own garage door springs, or should you even work on your own garage door at all, considering it can be dangerous and parts can be kind of hard to find? As far as the danger thing goes, that's up to you. Whatever your comfort level is. I went slow and I used the right tools, and I personally didn't have an issue fixing my broken garage door. Now, as I mentioned, it's kind of hard to get certain garage door parts. Big box retailers, Home Depot, Lowe's, they don't sell the overhead door springs. I think it's a liability issue. Supply shops, they don't tend to want to sell you all the time, or at least in my experience, they don't want to sell to me. But there's plenty of websites where you can order the parts if you're able to wait a couple days to have them mailed to you. So my garage door broke on Saturday morning. Fixing a garage door was not in the cards, and also I needed it fixed quick, and the supply house where I got the parts was not open on Saturday. So I did something, I can't believe I can admit this. I called a company to see if they could come fix it. They said yes. The cost they quoted me to replace 2 springs, as long as nothing else had to be replaced, was $1,400, and they couldn't come out until Tuesday. Well, guess what? It's Monday, and this whole thing took me about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, considering the time I took to drive to the supply house and get the parts, and I spent $105 on each spring, so $210 to fix my garage door. Versus I saved $1,200. That just goes right towards the Corvette, right? I did have a backup plan. If they were not going to sell me the springs, I was just going to measure these ones, order them online, have them delivered. They'd be here by the end of the week. But thankfully it's fixed because it is 100 million degrees outside in Texas right now, and I want to get my cars back in here so they're not like the surface of the sun whenever we have to go somewhere. Speaking of the surface of the sun, I still have, well, we ordered 16,000 pounds of stone. We installed slightly under 2,000 pounds this weekend. We're 12% done. I did the math, but I still have, that means 14,000 pounds of rock to install. So cars are going back in the garage. We're done working on the garage door. We did it ourselves. We saved $1,200, and now on to other projects. Jack shaft openers have I did have to do a little bit of there's a mosquito in here.